Welcome to week 4 of the Afterglow Top Knit Along. We are headed into the second half of the knit along. If you are a little bit behind, no worries. Week 4 is actually the week to get caught up. All we're going to be doing this week is removing our provisional cast on and putting our active stitches back onto our needle. And then we're going to work the little bit of waist shaping before we begin the bottom half of our garments. So to remove this provisional cast on, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to look for the ends. Remember, I tied a knot in one end. There you see the knot. This is the end that I started my provisional cast on at. So I'm going to actually go to the other side, the knotless side, to begin removing my provisional cast on. So here is my knotless end. And I am just going to go ahead. You can see if you slip this out, this is what's going to start your little crochet chain. This is going to start it unraveling. So you're going to want to have your needles ready. Now, I like to have it positioned like this so that I can use my right hand to help get my live stitches back on the needles. So I'm going to continue to pull that little end out, but I'm going to hold to the loop so that it doesn't start to unravel. And then there's this first stitch that you're going to have to get back onto your needle before you start to unravel that chain. So I just scoot right in like that to my active stitch before pulling the last of that tail out. So now we have one stitch. Back on our needle. So now I'm basically going to hold my right hand needle in my right hand. I'm going to pinch the active stitches so that they don't come loose. And I'm going to use the index finger on my left hand to pull out the chain, ready to pick up that stitch before I lose it. Okay, so now we have 2 active stitches on our needle. We have another loop that's ready to be pulled out. And if you are having trouble getting your needle into that active stitch, what I like to do is actually take and pinch the next loop of the provisional cast on, your crochet chain there, and just pull it up. Pull both the loop and the tail of the yarn. If you just pull it up a little bit, it really accentuates that active stitch, which I can then put on my needle, give a little tug with my index finger, and I remove the provisional cast on. So let me show you that again. You may have to continue adjusting the yarn so that you have enough tension, but you're just going to pull the provisional cast on loop to accentuate that active stitch. You're going to put the active stitch onto your needle, and you're going to give a little tug with your index finger to remove the provisional cast on stitch from the active stitch. Let me show you again. This is the provisional cast on loop. I'm going to pull it up to accentuate my active stitch. I'm going to pick up that active stitch, and then I'm going to use my index finger to pull that provisional cast on stitch out from the active stitch. This way you don't ever have to worry about losing a stitch, dropping a stitch, or anything like that, because you're always getting the active stitch onto your right hand needle before you then remove the provisional cast on stitch. So you continue to work in this manner until you've worked your way around. I'll meet you on the other side. All right, so my active stitches are back on my needle, and I am ready to do the waist shaping for my garment. I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I will see you guys in week 5. Have a great week.